In this world when women's attention is punctuated by phones and endless options, how do I go about becoming a suitor, quote unquote?
It depends. And if that appeals to you, if the Kalidas's poetry appeals to you in the book, it can't get more poetic and romantic and indirect than that. And I see a lot of young women who actually don't know what to do when that attraction happens. They got the guy, and then what? They feel trapped. A prelude to lovemaking with a perfect kiss just is. If you haven't experienced it, I urge you to try it. Just slow down. Hold her gently. Don't grab her.
The analogy that you draw in the book where you said a good foodie is a good lover, it's like...
Yes. It's not about how much of it you eat, but it's how you eat it and whether you appreciate what you're eating. How do I explain to someone who says, rainbow to rainbow hi hai na? But if you don't find beauty or romance in it, or you don't find poetry or magic in a rainbow suddenly appearing, then you're never going to get it.
Look, now I will give some context to my viewers. I had seen this name, your name, on some older books in my house library.
Right.
But I figured ki ye fiction novel, why should I read it? I was too young for it. And this came in my lap and I was like, huh, interesting. Sensual self-explorations of love, sex, and romance. And I did not know what to expect. I've spent half of last night and half of this morning in a coffee shop, unshowered, unkempt, just reading the book and laughing out loud a few times, completely unexpected, much to the surprise of people all around me. And then I was just, my notes say vagina, vaginal tightening, cuddling, sexuality, and it's like the font is quite big. So I leave my iPad on the table and everyone else can see what I'm, writing about. But this book takes you by a complete surprise. I didn't expect it to be this elaborate and this long, covering this many topics around everything about love, sex, and romance. I will start with this. I think every young person I know has a sex playlist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember a friend in college who, for the first time when he had sex, it was a big thing, him losing his virginity. On Spotify, you could see the friend feed, which would show you what everyone's playing.
Yeah.
And you could tell when he was having sex because the playlist was called Sex Period.
I love that.
It was quite funny.
So no ambiguity there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also like a little too much because you can just, it's just 3 p.m. on a Monday, brother. Like, relax. You talk about having sex to ragas in the book. This is fresh territory to me.
Have you tried it? Then if you haven't, I recommend that you do. First of all, most people I meet wouldn't know what a raga is.
Mhm.
They'd wonder whether I'm talking about maybe some kind of new music system, something that's come into the market that's trendy. राग है, रागा है, क्या है, rap है, इसका मतलब क्या है? I'm sorry, it's not that I'm being judgmental, but maybe I am a
Please be.
little bit. But yes, because the classical music system has a certain rhythm to it and a certain logic to it. And it's based on the time of the day, the times of the year. So if you were sensitized to Indian classical music, you can also tune your body to be in sync with that. And it's really quite wonderful. I've also talked about Bolero, which is Ravel's great, great composition. And I think that was created for people to make love to. It's not what other people may imagine that it's Bolero could be flamenco. It's not. It's a very gentle build up and it's very repetitive.
For context, you're talking about Spanish classical music, right?
Yeah. Ravel would fall into which category? Spanish classical or just Western classical?
Okay.
It's a classic. So it sort of builds up to the crescendo, which is what most sexual experiences lead up to. And it was also the very first gift that I gave to my husband because he didn't understand the art of gifting, I think. And I was trying to make him understand that when you're wooing a lady, it's not just about giving her something which has that, it's this fragrance, it's this perfume. Maybe she'll really go for it and go for me after that
Hmm.
because I've kind of gauged what she might like. It's not like that. It doesn't work. It's not generic that all women like fragrance. All women will fall for perfume. All women will go for a guy who gives them a very special fragrance. No.
Hmm.
Neither is it about baubles because baubles to me are very personal and
Sorry,
specific.
what's a bauble?
A bauble is like jewelry,
Okay.
like what I'm wearing, but it's not a bauble. There's a proper old piece, which I love. It could be something incredibly pricey, expensive. A woman, not this woman,
Hmm.
a lot of women will be impressed if a man gives them an extremely expensive gift and it comes in a nice, beautiful jewelry box and they're already committed to him, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
But I'm not that kind of person either. So when he passed on a nicely wrapped gift to me, I gave it right back to him saying, I don't even care what's in it because I don't accept gifts. And secondly, to me, it seems very impersonal, no matter what's in it. So he must have felt kind of thwarted, discouraged. So then I got Bolero from Rhythm House in Mumbai. It existed then, it's shut now. It was an
Hmm.
iconic record shop, most comprehensive record shop, maybe in India. Rhythm House. So I went there and I said, I want Ravel's Bolero. Of course, it was a long playing record, much before you were born.
Hmm.
We heard something called long playing
No, I
records.
have owned LPs. It's come
Or
back in
in
vogue.
vogue. I know
Yeah,
but it's now back. Like it's cool to listen to LPs. And
sure.
all right, but back then there were only LPs, and even for us that was a big thing. So I got him that, and I said, "Please listen to this." And I wrote a short and sarcastic note that if you want to get your gifting right, try and understand the other person before you give something. And I think I've understood you, and I'd like you to hear this and let me know how you like it.
That's very personalized. I
Yep.
feel like a gifting a playlist or sending a collaborative playlist
Yeah.
online doesn't touch it. I've recently acquired a film camera. I mean,
Mm,
as pop culture is obsessed with its past,
yeah.
everything's coming back. I was in New York City and I felt like there's an endless photos folder in my phone that
Yeah.
never gets used unless I want to put something on
Yeah.
my Instagram. And the photos finally came out,
Mm,
and they've got this dated uh, quality of a memory. And
yeah.
people are like, "Oh wow, I love these pictures. What's the
Yes.
editing like?" I'm like, "It's just a shitty camera."
Yeah.
But I feel like there is what I noticed in the book throughout, in terms of romance or romantic gestures. There is something about tangibility, something you can touch and hold and
Very
feel.
much. Very
Something
much.
about putting your heart and soul into expressing your love for someone as opposed to sending a text.
Or an emoji or something that's, again, so I find those dehumanizing.
You find emojis dehumanizing.
Yeah. And lazy
Uh huh.
because you're not exerting your own imagination. You're using something ready made that's just being transferred or passed on to someone you want to actually communicate deep. If you wish to communicate deeply with someone,
Mm
not that I abhor emojis, I use them, but when I use them, the person who receives them should find it insulting.
hmm. Hmm.
But most people maybe don't get it that I mean it in a way that's offensive. That that's how much you matter to me. I can I can just respond to you with an emoji because I don't want to invest more of myself
Mhm.
bothering to write a response.
You use the word suitors a lot in this book, right? Like
Yes, it's
you,
an old fashioned word.
I,
Jane Austen.
yeah, it's a very nice word. I feel like women now would not agree with you. I mean, they have men in their DMs or Sims or this guy who's interested in me, but it's become a little the vocabulary or the slang around it is far too casual, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you this. I'm a man, I'm a young man, I'm 28 years old, and I've had my fair share of romantic encounters. I would like to have more. In this world when women's attention is punctuated by phones and endless options,
Mm.
how do I go about becoming a suitor, quote unquote?
Well, it depends on the lady you want to court.
Okay.
And if that lady interests you deeply, and even if it's for 5 days, but those 5 days have to have meaning.
Hmm.
But not 5 minutes. It's got to be something more than 24 hours. Otherwise, why bother? So if you want to court her, I think one of the ground rules should be put away your phone. If you're with me, you're with me. You're not with your phone. You're not with any other preoccupation. I mean, what's going on inside her head, you can't control. But certainly, if she's interested in you, she will agree. If she's not interested in you and you know that she's so impatient that she's dying to jump back into her phone, then there's no hope for you. Then
Mm.
forget it.
There's a you mentioned a lot about how younger people date or court or mate. Um, I feel like there's too much casual uh, uh, posting on Instagram and other platforms around dating, which is then passed off as wisdom, right? As in how to date or how to woo someone of the opposite sex or vice versa. I feel like one of the advices that has stuck with a lot of people my age and particularly younger is to remain nonchalant. Is this word has come around somehow and stuck? Is that if I'm showing a lack of interest or if I'm being
Mhm.
incredibly short in my text messages or being detached, then I have a higher chance of getting with the woman I desire.
Ooh, wow. So it's like subversive.
Sure. And
Like
you,
you're,
on the other hand,
yeah.
are saying, I mean, you're talking about love letters, you're talking about long.
I think it's going to come back. Honestly, there's no substitute for expressing emotions because that's what we all crave. We long for a connection that's deeper than an emoji. And the art of writing letters, the art of writing, period.
Mm,
I'm meeting a generation younger than yourself uh, that doesn't know what cursive writing is. Maybe you don't either.
I do.
Okay, so then maybe it stops with your generation. The
Yeah.
younger people write in capital letters if they write at all.
Really?
Yeah, they don't know how to write because their thumbs do all the communication, right? On
Sure.
so they don't need to know how to write. Neither do they find beauty in writing. Neither do they find it challenging to them to say, oh my God, wouldn't it be wonderful if I can write even one sentence, but
Mm,
write it, not like it's not all in capitals. So getting back to the times where people, I've used Kalidas a lot. For maybe a lot of young people, I would love them to ask who is Kalidas, and maybe it'll make them curious enough to find out because now it's only one Google search away if you want to know.
mhm.
And if that appeals to you, if the Kalidas's poetry appeals to you in the book, then chances are you'll understand the depth of what romance meant. That a lover who's longing for his beloved, who has rejected him perhaps, and is using a cloud, literally a cloud, not cloud as we understand it today, to pass on those messages to his beloved. It can't get more poetic and romantic and indirect than that. But since we cannot summon clouds
Mhm.
that easily, maybe something a little more personal than just a, a sharp text or, as you're suggesting, ignoring the person or being insulting to that person. Well, it'll attract that other person's attention, no doubt. If the person happens to be vain and self obsessed, that I'm so hot, I'm so terrific, I'm so amazing. And this guy, who the hell does he think he is? I mean, how can he talk to me like this? How can he ignore me? Me?
ये कौन है इसने पू को मुड़ के नहीं देखा?
Ha, exactly. So if that is a strategy and if it works for you, well, why not? Who can
Sure.
challenge strategy? Because at the end of the day, it's the objective. You want that lady. And if that's the way of getting her attention and if she falls for it, I've seen it work.
Sure. On the other hand, I have this. Well, I've been awfully ignorant in getting back to this, but I have this woman I used to see briefly, and then she said we should write each other emails. It's something I
Oh,
hadn't done ever uh, since 2013, and so we did started doing it for a while. But it was more getting things off your chest, and then I would get updates about her life, and we would never address the emails in our phone calls or when we would meet. They would just be
uh-huh.
standalone
Uh-huh.
themselves. And she says, if you want to talk to me, write to me. And I've just been lazy because I don't know how to wrap up the last few years of my life and say this is what's happened. They were basically confessional emails where she
Yeah.
professed far more than she could ever when we
In
met.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, but there is it has a sacred place in my mind.
How
It's
lovely.
it
So
feels
those emails meant something to you. You read them. Did you
yeah.
reread them?
Yeah, otherwise HDFC का आता रहता है मेरे पास या
Yeah.
मेरे को ऑफर्स आते रहते हैं. It's just
They meant
useless.
something to you,
Yeah.
but they were cathartic for her.
Yeah.
But you didn't get it that she was being cathartic with some reason. Why would she be sending you those emails if she didn't want you to know her maybe better than
Yeah.
you did?
Well, and she's incredibly articulate in the emails, and that allowed me to also share glimpses of my own life.
But you're
And
reluctant to do that. You don't want to
no,
share.
I was just miserable, so I would
Ah,
just like trauma dump and say a bunch of stuff, and then she would as well. And I then read my side of the emails to another friend of mine, and she said, "Wow, you're not the same person anymore. I mean, I'm way lighter now as a person. I don't know how to write from a happy state of mind."
oh, you're in that whole Devdas thing. I mean, it appeals to you कि मैं देवदास हूँ. I have
नहीं
to
नहीं नहीं
suffer.
नहीं नहीं, उस टाइम
प्यार
पे
में suffering होना चाहिए.
उस टाइम पे अब कहाँ no, no,
अभी नहीं.
I feel like life should be light. I don't
Carry.
हाँ हाँ.
But you're not with the lady anymore.
No, she's
Or
a friend now.
no friend.
हाँ.
Okay.
You're laughing again.
Of course I'm laughing.
You find this funny.
Yeah. No, I don't find it funny. I
Uh,
find it typical in a sense. It's a generation that's constantly running away from actually acknowledging their needs. Not physical needs,
Sure.
emotional needs.
I will ask you this.
Mm.
When you were 28, what were the admonishments you received from people
Parents?
your age? Yeah.
Well, the communication systems, the communication lines in those days weren't as open as they are today. So, what I share with my grown kids is qualitatively different from anything that I could possibly have raised with my own parents. But I was extremely close to my mother. So, there were no secrets, there were no barriers, there were no filters. So,
Mhm.
I could pretty much what you call trauma dump on her, and she'd be receptive, very receptive. And the friends I had were also, I guess, equally simpatico with.
Hmm.
We were all going through our own. Every generation has
Hmm.
their periods of their angst periods, and when
But how were you nagged?
existential
How were you nagged by?
nagged me.
No, like for example,
What would they tell me that would put me off?
yeah, like or people of your generation at that time. Say you're the
Study kind of a thing, or get through your exams, or what? Do I look like a person who could ever be nagged by anyone? No.
I don't know.
No, 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 no. I knew my boundaries when I was 15 or 16, and they were very clear to me. No
Hmm.
nagging.
You were able to dictate terms with your parents as a younger
Not
person.
dictate, not in a way that's hostile, not combative.
Mhm.
But I had a lot of clarity even back then. So they kind of
Mhm.
knew that it's better to kind of leave me alone,
Mhm.
to find my own way in life, to create my own path and take responsibility for whatever decisions that came along.
If I write long messages
Yeah,
that communicate my desire or my admiration for a woman,
yeah.
there's a high chance I'll be called a simp.
No, she would love it because she's not used to it. So you would stand out and she'd say, my God, who's this person who's taking so much trouble, who's investing so much of himself, who is not ashamed to express feelings. It's become something almost shameful to talk about having any emotions at all. I mean, I
Mhm.
meet a lot of young women, your age, younger maybe, and they seem to be almost I don't know, so guarded. And why? What are you guarding against exactly? I think against your own emotional feelings because you can't deal with it because people around you have convinced you that you have to be in warrior mode all the time because the world is such a threatening place. It's such an ugly place. It's such a transactional place. And why do you want to put yourself out there? Because you're only going to get hurt at the end of it all. So it's all insulation, insulation, insulation. I don't want to get hurt. Therefore, I will not feel. Therefore, I will not show my emotions. I mean, that's how tragic.
Maybe true of our generation, but I will say because you and I are having this conversation, not true of me. I feel that there is a time and space for love. I also feel that um to give you an example, I wrote this down. I saw this on Twitter once. It's like in World War One, men would paint from memory on the side of their warplanes a woman they once saw in Normandy and dedicate their life to loving
Yeah.
this image they briefly saw.
Yeah.
Today, if I
Yeah.
go online, I have 1,000 very attractive women, right, who are leaving nothing to my imagination, men equally, boasting thirst traps. Where is where is space for fantasy? Where is space for longing? Where is space for let me mull over how gorgeous she was? There is none.
There is something called mystique. So if you're putting yourself out there and if you're posting those kind of pictures of yourself, that's actually ruining the other person's imagination, and it's invasive, and it's definitely a turn off for a lot of people who are sensitive. And it can also be degrading because you're asking to be rejected at your most vulnerable, naked self.
Mm.
So if they're putting themselves out there to be rejected or insulted or negated, I wouldn't even know why they would do it. Why would you? I mean, in your entire being, yourself should be valued more than what you're putting out there to attract whom and what you're going to do with that attraction. And I see a lot of young women who actually don't know what to do when that attraction happens. They got the guy, and then what? They feel trapped. They don't have the guy, they're trapped. They get the guy, they're trapped. When they say, well, take it to the next level, they ask, what is the next level? I don't want marriage. I don't want commitment. I'd rather have a cat or a dog, but even those
Mhm.
require
Sorry, just one sec.
responsibility.
This is just bothering me. Okay,
Uh,
sweet. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
thanks. Better for me too.
yeah.
So, it's what is the fear? I understand with a lot of young women, the fear is actually at the end of it all, it's about being rejected.
Hmm.
Maybe for men, it's the same. You you meet or you imagine you met the woman of your dreams, and the two of you are getting along splendidly. But at the back of your mind, it's always, what if I'm not good enough? I don't match up. What if she doesn't match up? What if our fantasies start changing? What if our ambitions grow in different directions? What if I lose interest?
Hmm.
That's when a very important word that for my generation and perhaps for another generation older than yours comes in.
Hmm.
It's a C word and it's called commitment.
Sure.
So the commitment phobia is something that's driving your generation into a tizzy of anxiety, and it's in your hands. I mean, if you commit, like you're committed to doing this podcast. You're not going to turn around and say, I'm in your studios, and you say, hey, you know what? I don't feel committed to doing it any longer. So thanks very much for coming in. But hey, I don't feel like doing this anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree about the flimsiness and the flakiness of this generation. But I don't know if there is a solution to this. I don't know if there is you can imbibe a degree of sacrifice, and because a choice is a sacrifice of other choices. If I choose someone, I sacrifice everyone else. And the issue is that we're all a little bit of a, how do I say it?
Self centered,
Self-centered
self
possibly, but
obsessed.
also traveling the world
Yeah.
and
No, I get
with a
that.
light touch.
But it's not about flakiness. I'm not dismissing your generation as being flaky at all. I'm saying it's a very anxious generation, not
Mm,
flaky, not superficial. It's a different set of anxieties that has replaced the anxieties that maybe my generation faced. Totally different.
yeah,
It's a lost generation on many levels and very focused on other levels. Very. They're
sure.
focused on themselves. And why not?
I will ask you this. What did it mean to be standing apart from the crowd or being rebellious in your generation?
It meant attracting attention, not always of the best kind. It meant taking a lot of things, taking hits all the time of some kind, emotional hits as well from
Hmm.
your contemporaries, from maybe your seniors at college, your professors, definitely your own community, definitely your relatives. With me, not so much my siblings, not so much my family, because they kind of got it that it's not going to work with me if they're going to come down heavily on any aspect of my life. But I could see it with other women, particularly who maybe did not have the same kind of spine that I did,
Sure.
who really had it tough, and they're still having it tough. These are choices you make very early in life. And can you take the knocks or you can't take the knocks? I knew I could. So it's very different. I wouldn't advise it randomly to whoever I meet that I could take the knocks and I was,
Mm.
Jhansi ki Rani. I was not Jhansi ki Rani at all. But I was prepared for whatever came
Hmm.
with those knocks. A lot of people are not. They take softer options.
As a thought experiment, there's an idea that I've read in a few books that says that we are in a crisis of authenticity where people feel like I should be extremely authentic, so they end up becoming rude, right? And
Mhm.
they and particularly, I mean, I'm going to use the word generation a lot since we have a gap that I would like to understand. Uh, is that sometimes rudeness or being too brash or direct uh, is misconstrued as, well, I'm being myself. This is me, right? Um, and I read in this book, which talked about that you should have a public self, right? Like a public self that you nurture and work on. It's the self that it's the mask that you put on when you go to a cafe, when you meet people, when you socialize. What do you think about that? Do you feel like people today are have become performatively authentic, and is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Performative anything is not a good thing because at the end of the day, it's kind of fake. So you're putting on what you call your authentic self, but it's still a construct
Hmm.
because you know the difference. By being rude, you're just being, when I say that someone lacks tamiz,
Hmm.
you can't say it's my right to be offensive and rude because I'm being authentic. It's just very poor upbringing. And it's also it's bad manners to go somewhere and offend someone because you say, "Oh, doing it because I'm being authentic to who I believe I am." It's just attracting attention, and it shows a certain crassness which is far from attractive. On
Hmm.
it's just off-putting. No matter what generation you belong to, rudeness and just lack of etiquette, of just simple. I don't mean elaborate rituals of etiquette.
Hmm.
I just mean Battamizi is Battamizi.
Hmm.
I wouldn't put up with it for 1 second from anyone. I would say take your authentic self and go somewhere else.
One question that I often get from the people that watch my podcast is there's an elusive concept that those who grew up on the internet like to chase, which is they feel like if everything is commoditized and everything is run by algorithms, where's the taste? Where's the refinement? And they look to this random idea of the old world where people had exquisite hobbies and
Mhm.
had an upbringing where they could, speak incredible English or learn how to use the fork and the knife, all of those things.
That's not important.
That's what I'm asking.
No,
How
those are
how does one refine
no,
themselves when they have
no.
no nurture for it, when they've not been necessarily trained like that?
It's not about forks and knives. I mean, eating with your fingers, as most of us do, and we should be proud of it because the enjoyment of food is itself, it's in the book as well.
Mm-hmm.
The sensual aspect of food and eating comes from actually the taste of your fingers. They also add to what you're eating. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not that those were impositions the British brought in. Yeah, the kanta chamach culture. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking about that. I'm just talking about basic courtesy. Like, uh, if you're saying that being your authentic self means you can go to a senior citizen or a really old nani or dadi and shove her out of the way and say, "But I'm being authentic because you're in the way."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I feel sorry for the younger person, not for the dadi or nani, but the younger person who is can be that gross. And authentic behavior does not mean gross behavior. It just means being true to yourself. But if you don't know who yourself is,
Mm-hmm.
then that's why I said it's a very lost generation. And if all your learning is coming from the internet, then what about your home environment? I think it has a lot to do with how you negotiate your way through the world. At least I would say that for the people, like, I hope my children have learned something from the way they were raised, or I would have done a really lousy job as a parent.
About food and sex. So,
Mm,
as someone who's abstaining from alcohol, waiting for a friend's wedding to go all out, and I'm someone who really enjoys cocktails. So when I first started making money, that's what I spent most of my time on, and really, really enjoyed it. And that was a use that instead of food. I was like, food is whatever, just get it done. Because my mom's rajma chawal are incredible, so are the parathas and all of that. लेकिन वो नहीं खाना था because learn about health and gluten free and all of that.
yeah,
But then I would go for a toss when I would have the cocktails.
yeah.
Now I'm not having the cocktails. There's just this void I feel. So I've just been eating chaat, chipotle, anything I can get my hands on, and it's an enjoyable experience to eat
Why
food.
not? It's fine. But what you're doing is actually substituting, sublimating in Freudian terms. You're substituting one pleasure for another pleasure,
क्या
both
कर
of which,
सकते हैं?
no, try wine,
Sure.
from cocktails to wine, and tell yourself,
I'm incredible company when I'm drunk. I will say that. But
we all are. We all are. That's what we tell
no,
ourselves. I
no,
mean,
no.
meet me when I've had 5 Negronis. I mean, you could have offered me 5 Negronis before the podcast or during it instead of garam chai, and it would have been
You
a
asked for
completely
it.
different podcast. No, no, it's
Next
not
time for
about that.
sure.
Yeah, next time we'll do a Negroni podcast. But no, it's about recognizing, you've recognized within yourself that certain things that you've tried to eliminate, like your mother's parathas and so on, were not doing good stuff for you.
Hmm.
Then you said, okay, let's try cocktails. That was the cocktails were making you feel heady and hot and sexy, desirable, entertaining, amazing. You walk into a room and you're ready to conquer it because five
Not
cocktails.
necessarily.
Or it made you feel confident on another
Sure.
level or more fun to be with,
The
or you
ambience of
convinced
a cocktail
yourself.
bar is great, and the drinks. It's like the
It
Michelin's.
helps.
Yeah.
Of course, it helps. I mean, you become another self. I know I do.
Hmm.
So it's your inhibitions sort of get dissolved into those cocktails
Hmm.
to an extent. But you are thinking about it, right?
Hmm.
And so if you're thinking about that, then you would think about all the charts that you're also consuming to make up for your non-drinking phase.
Sure.
So you can substitute the chart with something equally yum,
Like a wine.
wine with something.
Okay.
Wine with something like a healthier, like an sexy avo toast. No?
No, I
Why
feel.
not?
I mean, I
I
went
would
to.
have said caviar. I would have said,
No,
but
no,
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 not necessarily. I
no.
went to Bukhara in Delhi,
Yeah,
and I
had the
just
ran.
I ate the entire run, 500 grams.
Obviously,
It
I
was
would have
that good.
eaten a kilo.
But
Obviously, how could you resist that?
the analogy that you draw in the book, where you said a good foodie is a good lover, it's like, isn't
Yes.
that too simplistic? Do you feel like?
No, a lot of men are, looking at me like, what do you mean? I mean, at various lit fests, that question keeps coming up from men.
Hmm.
That, even on Karan Thapa's show, he said, I think I'm a gourmet. I think I love my food. It's not about that. It's not whether you're eating chaat or you're eating bran.
Hmm.
It's how you eat it. It's not
Okay.
about how much of it you eat, but it's how you eat it and whether you appreciate what you're eating. So if you're not even looking at your food and you can maintain eye contact and that gaze with whoever you're with that night, so that the seductive spell doesn't break, but it should also be an enjoyment which is together.
Hmm.
If you're eating down, you're digging into it, the person you're with, assuming it's someone you want to bed that night or have been bedding, then surely both of you digging into it at the same time, your fingers meeting while you're digging into tearing pieces of the naan, and then maybe you can feed the naan to your partner, and your partner feeds that naan to you. It's a moment, you know what I
ऐसे
mean?
होता नहीं है लेकिन.
Hota hai. Try it. Hota hai.
Okay.
So if a guy is not
Uh-huh.
interested in the play, then chances are in bed he'll be equally greedy and not refined.
How? Okay, you yourself say in the book when you
Yes.
met your husband,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even have whatever fruit or I don't know what you were having.
Guava.
Yeah, you were both shy. Case in
Shy.
point.
Yes. Of course you're shy. And that's charming in itself. But this generation doesn't have the time to even waste on that guava. They wouldn't even waste those 3 seconds looking at the guava or buying it. You meet and you say, okay, come on, let's get on with it. Forget the guava, forget food, just get ourselves a room
If
or a
I
closet or a bathroom or, you know, when anywhere, even remotely semi-private. वो भी नहीं, कुछ भी चलेगा, खटिया दे दो.
if I tell a girl, सुन यार fruits खाएगी, it's just I feel like I'm transported to a village. It's just
What nonsense. You're meeting the wrong kind of girls.
no, I'm just saying, okay, if I have okay, मैं अगर fruit cart, it has to be a fucking charcuterie board for you.
नहीं 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 बिल्कुल नहीं
क्या मैं उसके सामने
बिल्कुल
fruit
नहीं
लेके आऊँ? चलो fruits खाते हैं साथ में.
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं. It's not a production. It's not that you tell her chalo fruits khate hain. No, you are you are passing you're passing a fruit seller and you're attracted to say it could be an anar. Even I'm giggling over this. What rubbish. I feel attracted to anars. I feel attracted to because they're really quite beautiful. They're
Uh-huh.
physically beautiful. I'm not going to stop a lover and say, listen, can we just focus on the anar? No.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go on more dates and report back to you
Yes.
if this I don't know whatever this
Anar
is.
moment. Just remember this as the
Yeah,
anar moment.
it's very Bollywood, by the way.
It's very symbolic. No, it's symbolic of your sensitivities, mutual sensitivities. You can tell if she says, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he even talking about fruits and so on? But if, on the other hand, say she comes to see you at your apartment or you go to, you don't carry fruit for her. Maybe she comes over to your
Brings a
apartment.
fruit basket.
Not a fruit basket. It can be a theli and she's passed by and she's seen some amazing Nasik ke grapes on the way.
Huh.
And she feels like eating them, but not by herself.
Yeah, that's what women do a lot.
They eat it by themselves.
No, they don't.
Oh,
They like to share food a lot.
yes. I
thing.
think it's a part of love.
Yeah.
So she brings it to your apartment and she says, she starts eating those grapes and they're in front of you.
Hmm.
And she says, do you want to try some? Do you think that's rude or that's unromantic? I think it's very sweet.
It's very nice.
It's very sweet.
It's so good for the gut.
It's got calories, but it's like drinking a glass of wine. So you'll have to choose. Should I wait for the wine and say no to the grapes? Or should I have the grapes and have the wine and make it a very special evening?
It's only the wellness chicks who are into this. Otherwise, the rest of them are eating pasta. But
That's a shame because really pasta is, well, depends. Depends on the pasta, of course, but it's again, I find it very lazy khana and it's very easy to tell. I don't understand the pasta craze to start with, maybe because I don't love pasta.
mhm.
I don't love pizzas. I don't love burgers. Also, there's an aesthetic to it. A lot of sensitive women will say they, well, I don't know. A lot of sensitive women who want to excite their partner may, with deliberation, bite into a hamburger or a hot dog in a provocative manner.
Mhm.
But a lot of women for whom aesthetics matter, like they do to me, I would never ever do that in the presence of a man. I might bite into it when I'm mad hungry,
Mhm.
but hide and eat that hamburger because it doesn't look very attractive. And your mouth opens way too wide and you're stuffing food into it. I would, if I were a man, I'd get put off if a woman were to eat like that in front of me. It's a bit jungly.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said that you didn't
It's
have the
jungly.
fruit. You didn't have the guava.
Yeah, because we were both conscious of how to eat it.
What do you think about the whole idea of going on several dates and letting things unfold as they may?
As if your generation does that.
That's what I'm saying. What do you think about it?
I wish you'd go on at least one proper date. Forget many.
So what's a
Like
proper date according
one
to you?
proper date where I was told by a lady who calls herself Anne has a very successful podcast, and she's a dating expert, and she's 20 something. And she said, well, dates today, but of course, she's a Delhi girl and you're a Delhi guy, so maybe you'll completely get it. I don't get Delhi and I don't get wahan ke mannerisms and
I
the
would not get into this Hindu, Muslim, Delhi, Sikh,
but
Isai.
this is
It's just
so
one
well,
of those
she was a
things.
Delhi girl, but I couldn't connect with what she was saying.
Sure.
So she said that maybe it's a Gurugram thing. I don't know. Could be. I'm not being insulting, I
Not
hope,
at all.
but it's an observation. Okay,
Please.
as a writer, I noticed stuff.
Mhm.
So she said if she goes to a bar in Gurugram and a guy says to her, "Can I get you a drink?" Uska
Mm.
matlab ek hi hai, and that is the date. It begins and ends.
Mm.
So if a date just means bonking because a guy has bought you a drink, then it's kind of sad. So she said, "No, it's not." She said, "Who has the time? Most of the time, you don't even remember the name of who it was at that bar. And after 4 or 5 drinks, who cares?"
Yeah.
So it's kind
Well,
of sad.
there's a lot of pushback now against that.
I
And
hope so.
people are craving an old school romance,
Yes.
but even that is very performative and
No, then it's fake.
That's
Then
what I'm
it's
saying.
fake.
He kya hai old school romance? I don't even know what that is. It's like go on 5 dates and then marry? Like,
No, of course not. But at least you get to know the other person a little bit beyond unhooking the bra or, whatever one does, or maybe you don't even bother to do that. I don't know. I guess men don't even do that anymore.
You think of this generation as some kind of like filthy mutated beast?
But,
ऐसी तो
but
बात
it's
नहीं
like,
है.
see, there's a difference between lovemaking and copulation.
Sure.
Okay. So your generation maybe prefers copulation. And maybe why not? It's like animals mate, animals copulate, animals fornicate.
Mhm.
But I don't think that all the animal in the animal kingdom also there is finesse. There's a courtship ritual.
Hmm.
वो भी अगर आप भूल जाओ, so I mean, what it just defeats the whole purpose. What is the purpose? Just a sexual release that she hits whichever G spot on her own because he doesn't know where it is or it's important to hit it,
Mhm.
and he ejaculates into her और बस बात खत्म हो गई. Next, I find it kind of a big loss, a huge loss. You don't even know what you're missing.
What are we missing?
You're missing the whole theater of lovemaking, which is not performative. It's not you're doing it to impress anyone else. You're doing it because it generates it ignites your imagination, and you think of other things except one body entering another body or
Mhm.
not entering another body or exchanging fluids. There's so much more to it that can, if you haven't experienced it, it's like saying, how do I explain to someone who says, rainbow to rainbow hi hai na?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, rainbow to rainbow hi hai. I mean, it can't be anything else. But if you don't find beauty or romance in it, or you don't find poetry or magic in a rainbow suddenly appearing, then you're never going to get it.
I enjoy intensity. I enjoy depth. I
So
enjoy
then,
intimacy. I enjoy all of those things. Something you mentioned in the book is how time is the great opposite of a libido. I'm paraphrasing, right?
yeah, sure, of course. Yeah,
Like the perpetual rush in this city
yeah,
is victim number one of the rush,
the
right?
rush. Absolutely right.
That rushedness of our culture has. I think this is where like people have gone from love making to a quickie.
Yeah.
It's I literally had someone over. I said I have a meeting at 5. Uh,
And she looked at her watch and said, we have 10 minutes?
no, 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 no.
Oh.
She got it here at 4. And
Okay.
then I also had to tell her something about what she could do in her career, but like a short span, and
You packaged it all in. You managed.
still enjoyable. But it's you seem to wonder about the many people, not just me.
I know.
Feel the vacuum. What's the right word?
The
Like
absence.
the absence.
Yeah.
It's like
It is an absence.
what is this for?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Right.
But see, you're questioning it. Maybe she did too.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is not so transactional. It's not a memo that you're penciling in someone, between 4 and 5. Out of that, 20 minutes we'll spend in whatever we do
Mm-hmm.
in terms of intimacy. Get it all off. It's done. It's khatam. and then let's get on to I'm going to give you career advice.
Hmm.
And then, okay,
No,
I
no, I
get
don't
back.
want to sound like a casting couch director. Please, she
No,
just.
no, no. I don't mean it either in that cold blooded, nasty way.
Uh-huh.
But we all are prioritizing in exactly the way you said it.
Right.
You were honest enough to say it. I don't mean that you had an ulterior motive when you were exploiting her. Not at all.
Uh-huh.
But it's the hurry, like you said. It's because you're already thinking, even while you're perhaps with her,
Mm-hmm.
of your next appointment
Yeah.
or the next wherever it is that you need to go. And everyone has these targets and they all have these goals and they all have to be achieved within a realistic time frame. So that is the nature of life today in the cities.
Hmm.
It is what it is. But if you can, and you can, and everyone can, if you're even aware of it, you're talking about it, it means it must have bothered you at some point.
Yeah, of course.
Therefore, you're talking about it. If it was something that was so routinized, you wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, it's. I feel like there's a lack of leisure in our lives. We work and then we forget through sex or alcohol or some other mass distraction. I don't know. I mean, the old, I feel like whoever is the old inhabitant of a city and has acquired wealth early on has retained it, has this sense of relaxed, like lingering sense of presence, and like they do 3 4 hour lunches and whatnot, that I just find a little alien. I mean, I
No,
want
that's
to.
out. I mean, I'm a very busy professional woman of my time and age myself. I've never done those and I would never. I mean, I don't endorse that.
Hmm.
But leisure and time for yourself is different. It's almost meditative
Hmm.
and needed. So some people might do that by going for a massage or going to a spa or something.
Right.
Some people may meditate. Some people may just spend time by themselves. Like you could be right here, switched off. But I think the important thing is to switch off the
Hmm.
phones it's difficult to switch off one's mind, but you can certainly be mindful that this is the time I'm going to spend on me for me. That's not that tough. You can do it.
Yeah, I spent some nice days in Florida on the beach
There
doing
you
nothing.
go.
Very, very. It just feels like you're doing something wrong, like you're stealing time from your own life.
You're absolutely right. You are. You're
Yeah.
not savoring. This is these are your peak years as a young man, as a young person in this world. And if that's all going away without that Florida pause and maybe more Florida pauses, then what is your objective?
Yeah. Yesterday, I texted you and I said, "Hey, I've interviewed this porn star," and I said I'm very interested in sexuality. And you messaged me saying there is a difference between sensuality and sexuality. And I said, "Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going to read the book and find out."
yeah,
But I would like to ask you because the book is called "The Sensual Self."
that's right.
What is the difference?
Well, the main difference is sensuality is not only sexuality. Sexuality is sexuality plus sensuality, if you so combine the two, which is the ideal.
Hmm.
It's not a slam bam, thank you, ma'am. That's a sexual act. But in that sexual act, if you're engaging with the other person on some other levels, it could be through music, through shared food, it could be through the textures on your skin that appeal to both of you. It could be a massage that you give to your partner. It could be the fragrance you create in that room, maybe, or i- it's so many other aspects of life. It's not just about sex because sex is something actually it's so basic. It's so basic, but we should never ever degrade it by making it just an act
Hmm.
of mating. That's then just hard sex for the sake of having sex. I won't even say enjoying sex because
Hmm.
enjoyment of sex goes much beyond that.
So where sensuality, I'm gonna try and hazard an example and
Yeah,
let me know if I'm wrong. I was at the airport,
yeah,
went to the first class counter, was flying economy from Delhi to
yeah.
Mumbai, but I always do this.
There's a first class counter on which airline? From
Air
Delhi to.
India
Okay,
at T3, they have it's all clubbed together.
okay.
The woman there was beautiful.
Yeah.
So I said, "You're very easy on the eyes." Of course, it was such a nice moment in that moment. I didn't want anything from her. It was just nice to rest my eyes on her face and see her blush and smile. And she let me go with the extra 2 kilos in my bag. Um, but in that moment, I felt like there was this passing connection.
Yeah.
No one wanted the other to. I mean, I didn't say, "Hey, by the way, oh, you're so cute. Let me grab your number.
Yeah.
I'll take you out." Blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Yeah. You're paying her a genuine compliment. You are
Yeah,
appreciating her beauty.
and her
And
beauty
she,
lingered in my mind
yeah,
after a
as it
while.
should. How lovely. How beautiful. I mean, these are moments we must value. And there was nothing that you did which was offensive to her.
Mhm.
And her response of giving you those 2 extra kilos were a way of saying maybe thank you for the compliment.
Sure. I mean,
Maybe she'd had a tough day and no one had told her that.
uh-huh.
And it's these little moments I think that make life often worth living. Easy on the eyes, I haven't heard that for a long time. You said that exact same words?
I said those exact same words. I was
And she
hoping
understood that?
she did because
Cool.
she smiled up till here.
Uh,
Uh,
so you're going
it's
to keep going back to the Air India counter hoping to see her? That would be romantic. You don't know her name. You knew she was in that particular lounge. She impacted you.
uh-huh.
You're still thinking about her. Her beauty lingered on that
Yeah.
flight. And she hasn't left your imagination. It's so wonderful. That's how there should be many more such.
But help me dissect the what is sensuality. Like,
That is a very sensual moment in your truest self. That moment would have loved to touch her, not have
Mhm,
sex with her instantly, maybe to touch her hair if she had nice hair,
mhm,
or her eyes, or her nape of her neck if that was pretty, or her ears, or
mhm,
maybe some other body part that at that moment you'd noticed,
mhm,
but not in a disgusting way, not like you wanted to molest her,
mhm,
in a very gentle way, because you were appreciating her.
mhm.
And if she was tuned into you, she would not have misunderstood that gesture. That would have been a sensual moment.
Yeah. We would have to surpass all professional boundaries in the airport and risk her job for that. In that moment,
Definitely, you would. But that you're even thinking about it, and maybe you want to go back to that counter and see if she's still there.
it's just a passing fancy. It's
But
just
isn't
like,
that lovely? No,
yeah.
it's lovely.
It,
What's wrong with that? Fantasy is all about that.
I feel like all of this is an antidote to this grabby feely,
And
hypersexualized.
and harshness and the hard
Yeah.
kind of hard attraction that acha, if I'm attracted to her, maybe she's attracted to me, and she's hot, I'm hot, let's get on with it.
Hmm.
Awful. I mean, उसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? These days anyone can get anyone, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
It's not a challenge, it's not some trophy, it's not some victory, it's just what it is. So i i, I definitely would hope that maybe the old fashioned routines to some extent creep back. It just makes life so much richer.
You're
And
smiling all the time because you're like, wow, it's like your day is brightened,
yeah, I would say that.
right? Because
Yeah.
otherwise, it's just like, okay, I get to this bar, we're gonna have a few drinks, and then naturally the alcohol and supposed status signaling and charm will do the
Yeah,
job, and then we'll fuck and forget.
exactly.
Yeah,
And how much joy is that giving anyone?
it's
I don't think
joyless.
so. It's joyless.
Yeah.
Joyless. So I maybe a lot more people are thinking like you are, and not maybe they're inhibited about saying it because that would make them uncool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to be that kind of way, kind of that Ranveer Singh in Rocky or Rani,
Mm-hmm.
who's also a fragile, sensitive man hiding behind that facade. So the facades are what need to drop. Too many people playing too many games, and it's
Yeah.
all exhausting at the end of it all. There's not even time to have quality sex because everyone is so tired.
That's true. That's true. Everyone's staying up all night working on their laptops, and then they also have to do the hard thing of getting it up or being fertile
Yeah,
or wet, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
wanted to ask you. You say in the book that kissing is an art, right?
It is.
The first time I was about to kiss someone, I went on WikiHow. It was like how to kiss. I didn't want to get it
Oh,
wrong.
how sweet. That's
Uh,
you took the trouble. Most people don't. They just stick that
Yeah.
tongue into their woman's mouth, nearly gag her, and that's it.
Well, you say that. Uh, I would love for you to describe what you think a kiss should be
First, tell
like.
me yours.
My
You
first
went,
kiss
you
was very.
learned.
Well,
How
her.
old were you?
I think I was in ninth grade, so this would be 13 or
13,
14,
14. Yeah.
right?
Hormones were raging.
Sure. And
Yeah.
I was at this landmark seminar my mom had
Uh-huh.
sent me to. It was like
Uh-huh.
a Tony Robbins equivalent in India that
Uh-huh.
happens, self-help, change your
Sure,
life,
yeah.
that kind of stuff. I was sitting right next to her and just ended up talking, and of course, super hormonal. But her lips were too short, like too small for me,
Uh-huh.
and it felt very strange.
Incomplete. Incomplete.
It didn't feel like a grand kiss. It just felt like,
Right.
okay, this is just some.
But what was the setting for that kiss, the first one?
It was near
The
near a.
cloakroom.
No. It was right next to the trash cans next to the building in
Exactly.
Delhi.
Even, yeah, okay. Okay, so the setting was wrong and the
I,
lips were of the wrong size.
I've had
There was
memorable.
lip incompatibility.
Yes.
Let's put it that way. Okay, that's cool. But
Yeah.
you remember it. So that's
Sure.
important.
But there are some kisses that I've just, oh my
Yeah.
God, like after aise, you're just
Yeah.
gone.
You dissolve. Yeah, but the whole
Yeah.
point is to dissolve. Otherwise, it's a worthless kiss.
But you say in the book that
It's an art.
that the
There's a build up to it.
yeah, when men are kissing, they're like their hands are going everywhere else, and like it's just.
Yeah.
Talk more about that.
Yes, honestly, because uh, it's a prelude. Of course, it is a prelude. If it's understood that you are going to be making love after that kiss, then there should be no rush. And if you're going to grab her breasts or start pawing her in a way that's just untidy,
Signals lack
yes,
hunger.
no, hunger's good. It's hunger's good, but there are ways to show it.
Oh.
Hunger, you should also be able to anticipate what's to come.
Mhm.
You don't immediately pounce on your Ran and Bukhara and finish it off. So a woman shouldn't feel like the Ran and Bukhara. That yeah,
Can't take
आदमी
this seriously.
yeah, take it seriously. Honestly, that I can't resist the Ran. The Ran is so appetizing. It's at the right temperature, and
Sure.
I've got to go pounce and dig into the Ran. A woman should never feel like a piece of Ran. There should be tenderness. So the build up to the kiss that I've talked about, if you have not seen it, and if you do travel and you are interested, and you are in Vienna at some stage during your travels, and there is a Gustav Klimt museum in Vienna,
Yeah.
and the most famous kiss, his work, hangs in that museum.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth spending time just to see the body language of the lovers because there's nothing in it that you can fault. It's so perfect. It's so beautiful. It's the angle. It's the way he's holding her. It's got to be gentle. You build up the kiss. You don't plunge right in. Not at all. There's got to be a bit of tease, and there's got to be yes, something slightly unhurried about it, lingering, and it can be. It really is about making the woman feel not just desired, but also appreciated and loved. There's a big difference, which most people don't invest enough time thinking about. A woman who's going to bed with you is already desirable. And for most men who are at that stage of, pardon the use of a word that I hate, if they're feeling that it starts with an H and ends with a Y, so you can say it. I'd never use it. Men.
Honey.
Yeah, honey, of course. If they're
Yeah.
feeling honey,
Okay.
they would not wait or read her signals right.
Yeah.
They just think she's ready. She wants it. I want it. Forget about everything else.
Mm.
But a prelude to lovemaking with a perfect kiss just is, if you haven't experienced it, I urge you to try it. Just slow down and run your fingers through her hair, touch her ears, nibble her earlobes, kiss her on the nape, hold her gently. Don't grab her. So she feels reassured. A woman who feels reassured and safe in a man's embrace
Mm-hmm.
is likely to make better love to the man than a woman who feels like a piece of meat that he's going to devour. As simple as that.
Very well put. You say in the book, some women perform sex as duty.
Yes, most.
Most.
Yeah.
Would you elaborate on this phenomenon?
It's what's expected of them in most um, conventional patriarchal societies, and the whole world is patriarchal. Let's not fool ourselves. When we say, oh, India is so patriarchal, India is so patriarchal, show me one society that isn't. Apart from tribal societies across the world, because they
Mm-hmm.
don't believe in that kind of hierarchical system of anything, they create their own rules. But a patriarchal society, a woman from a middle class, upper middle class, m- whichever strata of society gets married, she is expected to keep her husband happy
Mm-hmm.
in the marital bed. That's her duty. She is told that, she's instructed that beta aap apne pati ko khush rakho. What does that even mean? It means only one thing, that you submit to him
Mm-hmm.
whenever he wants sex, wherever he wants sex, no matter what you feel. The word consent doesn't arise. It's a given that
Mm-hmm.
you are available to your husband. That's his legitimate legal right. So that's what I mean by duty sex. It's not what the woman desires.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely would women even have the courage to initiate sex. So they have to wait for the husband or their partner to initiate it, and then go along with whatever works for him rather than what works for both, or certainly what works for her is the last priority.
You say in the book that gigolos are good at eating women out because men feel like it's a task.
Gigolos,
Yeah, that's what you say in the book.
yes. What well, they're paid to pleasure a woman.
Mm-hmm.
They want to do it as quick as they can, take their money and run to the next client.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of sex is that's when I say the woman is having sex. Okay, it's like you're consuming a product,
Mm-hmm.
and it's as emotionless as that. But then some women get attached to their gigolos. That's when the problem starts.
Yeah. In your experience, do you feel that? I mean, let me ask you this. I have many young friends who have been married in the last year or so, or the last 2 years, and even across the board, just something happens in late 20s in India where it's just like if you're not marrying, you're doing something horribly wrong, or you're on the way to being, like you said, non-committal. Uh, but I see many of these men already espousing fantasies of other women, but it's like they really enjoy being with their new wives, and but they already feel chained or imprisoned by some of this. Is there a legitimate space for fantasizing about others while still being in a marriage?
Fantasy is your birthright. How can you live without fantasy? Of course, you'll be fantasizing, but what you're talking about often extends way beyond that fantasy. And within 2 or 3 years, they feel, uh, well, I'm kind of done with this beautiful lady in my bed who happens to be my wife. And she may be thinking exactly the same thing and probably is. So
Hmm.
I see it a lot with young couples that I speak to, and they are very casual about it. Maybe they've had their first child, maybe they're postponing their second child. They live in a kind of community where it's acceptable and they're adventurous. They go on holidays together and they sleep with each other's
Yeah,
spouses,
swinging. Yeah.
swapping clubs, key clubs, swinging clubs. They're not new, they've existed all along.
Hmm.
But there was a time when society did not endorse it completely or look the other way. These would have been the exceptions.
Hmm.
I see it, what we would call promiscuity, sleeping around, is now kind of legitimized. It's no one thinks terribly much about it. It's it's kind of cool. It's okay even to talk about it
Yeah.
publicly.
Well, I think that's the issue because I think that a lot of us now want traditional sacred marriages that are, well, if we fantasize, it's about our wives or about our husbands. And so when we realize that promiscuity or infidelity is inescapable, we just give up. We're like, fuck it, no matters then.
Give up and end the marriage?
No, give up on marrying altogether.
Oh,
If
give up on marrying altogether. I mean, you give up so easily on yourselves. How sad is that? Meaning, कुछ उसमें मतलब ही नहीं है फिर.
so, but do you feel
But you
like
mean you're only marrying for getting free sex every night or what?
no? What I'm trying to ask you is if infidelity and cheating is so normalized, then
So, but marriage is not just about just that one aspect of it, which
so
is
should we ignore it? Should we ignore the infidelity or
no, absolutely not. That's why I said it right at the start that the C word, commitment. If you feel you're not ready to commit, and you may feel this way 2 years into your marriage, which means you're not prepared for that commitment itself.
Mhm.
So then postpone it or don't get into it at all because it can lead to so much misery, so much unhappiness. It can be a terrible thing because if it can be a terrible thing, it destroys lives. Infidelity and promiscuity. Sometimes I feel the casualness with which this younger generation is indulging in it, at the moment they don't even know what the pitfalls are.
But I was reading up at Wikipedia, which is not mentioned in the book so much. You have written
Yeah,
famously about the duplicitous romantic lives, amorous lives of many who would cheat.
many.
So it's not
Yes.
necessarily this generation,
Not
right?
at all. Like I said earlier, the swapping, wife swapping, husband swapping, the key clubs as they were called back then.
Hmm.
It's not that your generation has invented it.
But
It was just more secretive back then.
sure.
And they stayed in that marriage. कि कुछ भी हो, शादी टूटनी नहीं चाहिए. That's the big difference. Your generation is saying, forget it, we don't need shadi at all. अगर ऐसे हो रहा है, why the hell should I stay in marriage? Why they can afford to say it is because the women, most of them who say this, can afford to get out of the marriage and live on their own terms and have
Hmm.
the financial means to do so. They're probably as hard headed career people as the man they've married. So they
Hmm.
really don't care. There's nothing at stake. What could women of an earlier generation do? They had no choice. It was like a life sentence.
Yeah.
So the man could do what he wanted. If she could do what she wanted and get away with it, she would. But they had to necessarily stay within that marriage
Hmm.
because anything else was not acceptable. So, but nothing has changed. I mean, it's not that you've invented any of it.
Uh, the one of the parts which I laughed out loud at was your description of one of your friends dressing up for breakup sex with her,
Yeah,
her former husband.
yeah.
And I've had a similar experience where you feel like this breakup sex is going to be this earth shattering. I mean, at best, it's just whatever. And then,
And that is going to solve everything. It's a closure. It's a closure. That word which your generation uses so much and misuses so much and flings that word around for everything is a closure. इसमें closure नहीं है, उसमें closure नहीं है. Whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's an argument with your parents or with friends, उसके साथ closure नहीं मिला, उसके साथ. It's overused and
it's a genuine need.
there is no such thing as closure. I've said that in my book too. There's no such thing. In a job, yes, you're fired and that's the end of the story. I mean, but even then your psychological closure doesn't it doesn't always work that mechanically. In a relationship to say I need closure. What do you need exactly? You want to go back and sleep with the same person, that revenge sex thing, or you want to have a cathartic, 5 hour marathon talk saying where did we go wrong?
No, but that's
What
the
is
idea
it?
is to end it amicably.
That is possible. Then it's ended amicably. उसमें closure की बात ही नहीं है. It's finished and you go your way, he goes his way, the girl goes her way.
Hmm.
बात खत्म. Then when you meet, whenever you meet, if you have common friends, you meet without rancor, you meet without hatred, you're not filled with negativity towards the other, you wish the person well. That is real closure. From within yourself, those emotions that made you feel possessive or hang on to that person no longer exist. They've been replaced by something kinder, gentler, but they're not erotic, romantic emotions.
Shobha, we're going to get so much hate from this generation.
That's okay. I mean, I've never attempted to be popular with any generation, so it doesn't faze me at all. It's
I,
not a popularity
I
contest.
want to understand
Mm.
because you've been, well, like a publicly known writer for longer than I've been doing what I've been doing. What is the how has the code of public opinion changed around writing? Because I'm sure, like, I don't know if writing still has the pull it once did, and I wish it was the case, but it isn't, right? How would writing rouse the masses or rouse people around you, make them angry or make them smile? Like,
Well, I think the stand-up comedians are doing that job extremely well,
hmm
and they're using their platforms effectively enough and reaching the generation they want to reach and saying what they want to say and risking a lot for it. So I admire them for doing it. Some of them are really, really good at what they do and very clever. Like Avir Das, he's in a league of his own. But for a younger generation, I find so very many young voices, especially women's voices in publishing. I receive at least 5 books from publishers a day.
that is insane.
So just think, they're all being published. So clearly there's an audience out there reading them.
hmm
And a lot of them are in their 20s and 30s. And they're speaking directly about what their experiences are or creating stories around their lives. Someone is reading those books. I mean, this year alone, I've signed up for 16 Lit Fest to which I'm invited. Oh, no, 16 that I've accepted out of maybe 30 that I was invited to. There are people attending these lit fests, a lot of young people. I'm signing books till my wrists are tired. So it's not as if that market has shrunk. The
hmm
bookshops are thriving. So reading hasn't really gone out of style. It's how you consume books, maybe, or the kind of authors you consume or
hmm
enjoy. That must change as it should change.
No, I meant. I mean, I love reading. It's given me so much hope and relief and enjoyment
Yeah,
all across my life. I don't mean that. What I meant to ask is, if a video that I make goes viral
yeah,
and something I said inflames or upsets people,
yeah.
usually they call for cancellation. If it's very severe, you end up going to jail, right?
Aha.
So
Yes,
you come from that era where writing
yes.
could really cause problems,
Oh,
right?
yes. Yeah.
So
It
that's what
still
I meant.
does.
So,
Oh, right. Yes. It still causes problems for me. So I'm
but
my writing in my
historically,
columns and throughout my writing, at one point, I was probably the most loathed writer. More, Reuters did a story on the maximum number of the most terrible reviews any writer had received in the subcontinent when my first book came out because it caused so much outrage. It was called Socialite Evenings. There was nothing in it that, even today, looking back so many years, more than 30 years, that I find either explicit or offensive.
mhm,
But A, women were not expected to express themselves at all. Or if they did, then those books had to be about, ye bichari aurat, she suffered so much.
yeah,
कितनी बुरी उसकी जिंदगी थी.
it's very Kamla Markandeya types.
Much worse than that. It has to be much worse. So it had to be about repression, oppression, suppression, or she's been subjected to. She was married as an underage bride.
Uh huh.
Then she was beaten, abused, thrown out of her family. बहुत बहुत बुरी चीजें उससे हुई. All because she was this noble woman who had to endure all of this. And here was my book, which was, I guess, in your face, but I don't know how to write any other kind of book. So, yeah, it did receive extremely harsh reviews. But the wonderful thing is, which I'm now actually saying something terrific about your generation. You think that they will hate me for saying what I did. It's your generation that has embraced all my work, all my books. The people who come to to the Lit Fest or who come for book signings are all people your age and even younger who've understood the books in the right context. They're not judging me.
hmm
They're saying, okay, cool. I mean, we may not agree with everything she's saying, but she had a point of view and she had the guts to express it. Huge shift. Huge shift. But my political opinions, my columns continue to get me into a lot of trouble. And I love it because I feel I'd be not doing my job if I didn't evoke that kind of a response.
I'm someone who wants to write. I've interviewed several writers. It's the one thing that my friends, teachers, professors have said about me. Yet I find the task, I don't want to call it a task. The idea of a writing career incredibly long and
It is
I don't know, perhaps
thankless too sometimes.
yeah, and it perhaps involves me writing about politics, which I'm not that interested in because if I tell the world, "Hey, I'm here for the ride. I don't care that much." But
You know what? The title of your book should be Hey, I'm Here for the Ride, and I'll publish it. I promise you. I'm not just saying it lightly. And just be completely honest about what you feel,
well,
about writing, about why you're writing this book because, hey, you thought, why don't I give it a shot? And then write about your life.
yeah, I want to write a memoir of our times, and I want to write about i- one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on is I want to write about incredible sexcapades that happen all across the world, involving me and many
Done
other
to
my
death,
friends.
done
Yeah.
to death, done to death. Every young person
Hey,
wants to
this is
boast.
not a live pitch. I'm just
No, but
saying.
I'm saying it's been done to death. So don't even go there. Because, I mean, how many sexapades is one going to consume?
Sure,
Everyone wants to talk about the greatest sex they've ever had in their lives. They can even call that book that and it'll still flop. उसमें कुछ होना चाहिए ना, which there has to be a takeaway in every book,
sure.
whatever you write. So what's the big deal about boasting? Oh, mine is bigger than yours, kind
No,
of a
no.
book. No,
Do you recommend a
you're too serious to be doing that.
do you recommend a column? Do you recommend? I mean,
Yeah,
I've done tweets, I've done small essays, but like pursuing a
writing's a
series.
different skill set. It's a different discipline. It's got to turn you on. The idea of writing
Hmm.
has got to appeal to you so much that you can put a lot of other things aside and say, hey, this is what I want to do.
Hmm.
I don't think you want to do that. So,
I do. I
but
want
maybe not right now. Maybe you can wait to do it when
sure.
you want to do it.
Well, you started very early. What
I
was it?
did.
What was it about writing that you? What was it that you wanted to get off your chest that badly?
No, I just want, I'm a good communicator. I've always been from a very young age. That's what I wanted to do, share.
Hmm.
And I like the physical process of writing. I still do. I love writing longhand. I like to see words forming on paper.
Hmm.
I still love
Who
seeing
types
it.
them?
No, now I journal because earlier someone used to key them in.
Hmm.
Now I key it all in myself. So that's like 75,000 words, which I think, which must be this book. And the others have been bigger books, 100,000 plus words. Those I key in physically myself. But earlier, when I started my career, I
Hmm.
used to write my books longhand, and they used to be keyed in or
And
typed in.
do you have a discipline, a writing
Oh yes,
desk,
I
a
do.
ritual?
Yeah. You can't do it any other way. There are no shortcuts. I can't wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm having a bad hair day today. I don't think I can write. Like I
Yeah,
always ask myself, can a surgeon go into surgery and say I'm having a bad hair day or I just
I'm
don't feel like,
hungover.
oh yeah, I'm hungover. I don't, this surgery doesn't, it's not my authentic self I'm bringing to surgery this morning. So maybe I should just walk out. Can a lawyer say that arguing a
Yeah.
case for a client? So who am I? Who am I? Who's a writer? They over romanticize notions about writers, waiting for inspiration. I'm a professional writer. I write every single day of my life. That's what I do, and I enjoy it, and I love it.
Do you requested 5 p.m. You've done your writing for the day?
Yes, before I came here, I did.
Okay, so is there a specific time at which you write?
Yes, from around 9:30 in the morning till 4:30 without a break, generally, because I don't stop for lunch. It doesn't interest me.
Wait, hold on. So you're sitting there writing
At my dining table, that's my work desk.
and you're not distracted by others walking by?
I'm so used to it. Nothing, of course, I'm distracted. I stop. I attend to the dhobi. I attend to the gas man. I attend to staff asking me about what's going to be cooking for what do you want to eat for dinner, for example. I stop if any of my children call to take their calls. I stop if my daughter, who lives with us, the youngest in the house, comes and asks me, as she did today, that should I wear this or should I wear that to the
While
mehndi
you're
this evening while I'm writing. They have no respect at all. Nobody in my life respect. They just think, oh, she's writing. So Yeah,
Writer
so
ही तो है
what?
क्या है?
हाँ, उसमें क्या
As
है?
I say, she's into writing and all.
Huh,
It's
she,
like
yeah, come on,
dismissive.
yeah, she's writing and all, so that kind of a thing. So they take me completely and totally for granted. So I've trained myself from the word go and from a very young age that
Yeah.
don't make distraction an alibi for not writing. Just get back to it and do it. There can be workers upstairs, workers in my own home. There can be 10 guys walking up and down past me with cans of paint. They can be knocking a wall off, 2 feet away from me. Does not bother me.
You're not
I'm very zen.
doing white noise in the ears, music.
Nothing. When I'm writing, I am writing. When I'm not writing, I'm talking to my daughter. I'm fully talking to my daughter. When I asked if the धोबी comes and asks me कि इस साल मेरा वो जो आपने बोनस दिया था वो शायद आप भूल गए बोनस देने के लिए आई एम लिसनिंग विथ 110% of myself to him saying he has not received his bonus and I can go back where I'd left off just like that. It's training. It's no big deal. It's not some miracle.
Fuck, we have like all this ADHD. It's like it's
That's an excuse.
listen. No. I don't want to misdiagnose and say I've tried. I can't focus as much as I used to. I could do it for longer
Because you
hours.
can afford not to. Because no one's going to do nothing to you if you say, I can't focus, right? You just
Sure.
say, I have. Well, all school kids, my grandchildren tell me that. Nani, don't expect me to do this, focus on math and all that because I've been diagnosed, I've been told.
I'm
Kids are
not.
saying it.
I
कि मुझे
agree.
करना ही नहीं है, मुझे लिखना ही नहीं है. क्योंकि I've got ADHD, I'd rather do something else. मुझे video game ले आओ.
मैं उस बात को मानता हूँ. I agree that the self-diagnosis is a problem. I'm just saying it isn't as easy to focus as it once was.
So much stimulation.
Yeah.
The stimuli. I mean, how do you have to train your mind, and you can, and everyone can, and you don't have to be a Zen master to do it. You just have to be practical. कि मेरे पास इतने घंटे हैं. I have to write so much. I have to submit a column today. That
Yeah.
column deadline is coming. It's going to be at 2:30. I have 1,000 words I have to write before that.
Yeah.
I've pretty much written 1, 2, 3 points that this is what I want to say in that column. Just get down to it, honey.
And so when you write the column,
Yeah.
does the constraint in the time
Deadline. Yeah,
does
yeah,
that
of
help?
course. No, yeah, it helps.
Do you feel like sometimes, whoa, this is just crap, this is just fluff?
Never, never,
You don't
ever,
ever reject your own writing?
never.
That must be
It's not ego.
okay. No,
I
no,
leave
I'm
it
not
to
saying
the
that.
editor to reject it, but they've never rejected it.
Okay.
If the editor tells me, sorry, it's crap, we can't publish this crap, then it's a wake up call. It would be a wake up call for me to say, listen, what the hell are you doing, Dave? What are you writing?
Yeah.
If that has not happened, why? It's like they say, if it's not broken, what are you going to fix? This is how I write. This is my pace. This is how I express myself. This is how I do it. If someone has objections to it, then the only person authorized to tell me, sorry, it's not working, is the editor. No one else.
Do you have a private journal?
I journal, yes. I've
But-
had it since I was 14.
And that's private?
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
your private
Totally,
thoughts?
totally, yeah.
So does that prevent you from yapping or oversharing because you're able to dialogue with the journal?
I'm not that kind of yapping, oversharing person.
Mhm.
I'm very, very selective who I share anything with.
Mhm.
And that's almost completely restricted to family.
Do you ever reread your journals and see how
No.
you've changed? Never.
I tried once and I died. I said, oh gosh, this is too painful, too embarrassing. What was I even thinking? What rubbish? What am I writing?
Uh-huh.
Rubbish. क्या है पुरानी बातें? There's no point revisiting it and saying, oh, what was I? Why was I moaning and groaning about what? It seems so inconsequential.
It's crazy that you can do all of these things and still write distracted. Because if I were to ever do it, someone would say, "Hey man, you should never context switch." It's like a popular thing in productivity lore that you're context switching. You're not focusing on the task, but you're context switching and still writing. And mostly first drafts. It's incredible how this is even possible.
Shall I say something disgusting and sexist?
Please.
It's because I'm a woman and every woman trains herself almost since she's 2 years old to multitask because we're expected to do it
Uh-huh.
and never complain. And we just do it.
Yeah.
You think of your own mother. I'm sure she can do 10 things
She's wonderful
simultaneously.
at it.
So there you go. It's how our brains are wired.
She's like, you should drink this Galoika juice while she's
Very
like,
That's
and I am
it.
like, it's just, like, how do you do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
She will help me pack the bag and be concerned for me
Ye-
and give me a remedy for like some liver shit at the same
All
time.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And she's also planning what else she can do
Yeah.
simultaneously that she can go back to. And she'll do it all.
But she also has the ability to be remarkably present when required. Yeah.
Such as someone sitting across you.
Kya baat hai.
Abhi bol diya. It's true. Right now, I'm 120% focused on this podcast and talking to you. I'm not thinking of anything else. I'm just thinking, what time is it? How much time? This first time I've even looked at and it's
Yeah.
gone great. So first time I'm even looking at my watch. So I'm here. I'm present and being mindful of that and just being present and actually showing up for something that you want to do and that you believe in is half the battle done. So if you feel that way about writing, then you're not ready to become a writer. And you can't become a writer and.
ये क्या बात होती है?
बोल रही हूँ.
Well, so why can't I be a writer and a podcaster? And like, I mean,
तो ट्राई करिए आप.
fine.
Do
You're on.
it.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge, हाँ करिए.
ठीक है.
Yeah.
Cool. There's so much more to say. It's one of the few podcasts I've done in my life where I'm gonna re-listen. I've always said this when people ask me who are my dream podcast guests, and they assume it's some
Obama type.
big actor या I'm not interested. It's
हाँ.
मतलब अच्छा होता है, मिलके अच्छा लगता है, बहुत मजे आते हैं. आप घर से पढ़ के जाते हो कि ये पॉलिसी की रिपोर्ट है, इससे बात करेंगे. मतलब it's not as fun. My one podcast guest I always wanted to get on, who was a contemporary available writer, was Manu Joseph. He's
He is brilliant.
he's now a wonderful friend
Brilliant.
of mine,
And what a writer.
and I achieved that in 2020.
Yeah.
And I will say, retrospectively, not to blow steam up your proverbial behind, but I didn't expect this. I didn't expect to sit
You
across
thought
you.
this woman will come and she'll be sitting across me and she'd be looking at, and she'd be talking
मुझे
foo, 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 foo. And she'd be this social person, socialite from South Mumbai. And फिर, I know the
नहीं
trope.
नहीं नहीं किताब अच्छी थी.
I know.
So because the book was good, I don't expect anything. That's the one of
Yeah,
the
but that's wonderful too. One should meet whoever one meets with an open mind, which is not
Mhm.
always possible. You always come with some baggage and some preconceived ideas, especially if the person is somewhat known in the public domain. It's not possible to switch off everything and say, I'm going to meet that person with a completely open mind. Doesn't happen.
With authors, I
Yeah.
feel like you can ignore everything else and just read the book. I think
You can.
yeah, that's what I did.
But with most authors, the other stuff is not worth investing in anyway.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
So-
this is what you want the world to know about you primarily, right? Everything else is whatever, right? So I read this and I was laughing out loud and people were looking at me
I'm
strange.
so delighted. Lovely.
Where can people find this book? Where can people buy this?
Well, it's in all the bookstores.
Mhm.
It's on Amazon. I think Amazon India has it.
Yes, it's from Aleph. The book is called
Aleph, yeah.
The Sensual
Sensual
Self.
yeah,
Yeah.
explorations, etc., etc. But for me, honestly, I've enjoyed the interview. I don't care if the book sells, 50 more copies because of the podcast. It's not about that at all. It's about sharing something in a way that I enjoyed as much as I hope you enjoyed it, which you
Mhm.
just said. I've never used that phrase about, but I've learned something new. So that's already ticking in my mind. Blowing air
Up your proverbial behind.
up your proverbial
I
behind.
just immediately added the last two words to be more respectful.
I know, but I know what it means, and
Yeah.
I know which the other word is.
Sure.
But that's a new one for me. So
Okay.
I'm always picking up new things and getting very excited. I'm like a kid. So driving back, I'll phone my kids and say, I learned a new phrase, and they'll
I'll
say,
send
"Oh,
you the exact phrase with
no,
context.
they'll know it
Yeah.
for sure." They'll say, "My God, he said that to you on a podcast, Mom." Oh God, I hope you didn't say anything equally bad back to him. I didn't.
Wanted
I was
to
a
end
lady.
on.
Mhm.
Sorry, you were saying.
I said I behave like a lady. I'll tell them that because it's important to them.
I think when you meet someone like yourself,
Mm.
you you bring up your best nature. Because on this podcast, I have several of my crass friends, and we get very crass, but it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
We share the same birthday.
Who?
You and I.
7th of Jan.
Yes.
No kidding.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Just a few decades
You're
apart.
the first. No, you're the second male.
Uh-huh.
I meet women. I know 3 who share the same birthday, and my daughter's father-in-law and I share the same birthday.
Mhm.
But I often look at him and I think to myself, "Oh my God, is it possible?" But with you, I fully get it.
It's you, me, and Irfan Khan, the 3 of us.
Yes, I loved him. I loved him. I'd met him when he'd just done The Warrior. He'd come home to meet me.
Mhm.
And I found him one of the most, um, to say most intense, most sensitive. That's all kind of bakwas. But those are cliches. But there was a core and a depth to him and a kind of shyness, a reticence and modesty, which is not fake. Which was just someone who was looking for a bit of reassurance because he hadn't made it.
Mhm.
And I was the only person who had singled out The Warrior as a film that I had quite accidentally watched and enjoyed a
Haven't
lot.
seen it.
You must.
Okay.
It's him at his best.
All
He
right.
was wonderful.
Is it a Hollywood film?
It was it was a joint production, if I remember right. Wonderful, deep and lovely.
I saw him in Life of Pi and
Of
Bouncing Tower
course,
and many
yeah.
others.
No, Namesake is what you should watch if you
Yeah.
like him. He
Watched it
was-
as a kid.
Oh no, see it again.
Yeah.
See him as Ashok Ganguly in Namesake.
Okay.
Just fantastic.
Looking forward.
Yeah, so we are ambitious, but not pagal ambition. I think most Capricornians I know, they talk about it being the goat that always wants to climb the highest peak and all the rest of it. Yes, but we are also very down to earth and practical. We know कि इतना हो सकता है उसके बाद forget it boss.
Yeah.
So forget it boss has always helped me. I can't say to myself, oh, I can do this, I can do that. I can never be a Salman Rushdie. I adore and love him and think he's brilliant, but I want to be me, the best I can be of myself. I'm not in that comparative race कि उनके जैसे मुझे लिखना है, बिल्कुल नहीं. But I also know he's a genius and I'm not a genius.
Well, I think what you write is spectacular nonetheless.
Thank you.
And people can buy the book now. And I really had a fun time. I was not expecting anything at all. And
Thank
you're a
you.
consummate conversationalist.
Oh, thank you. That's a lovely compliment. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
I'll go and repeat it to my husband and make him
Wonderful.
feel very jealous tonight.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.